Hey everybody, welcome to Hold the Mic. We are your hosts, Ryan and Ian. Brother, how are you?
What up, Doe? Man, it's good to see you. Let me just tell
Hey,
you that.
hey,
It's
you
been a
too.
hell of a week, and I was like, I just got to get to Friday. I
Yeah,
just got to get
man.
to Friday and see Ryan. That's all
Bro,
I
I feel
got to
that. I feel that this week.
And you
Um,
know it's only going to get heavier. We're waiting for some of these Supreme Court things. I know we're going to jump into it, but it's like we're just
yeah.
waiting. So like that, I already know tension is high, but I'm just like waiting to see you.
Tensions, man, the way tensions are so high right now.
Yeah.
And even me, I'm trying to manage how much I get spun up, about everything right now. Because it's like, I feel like it would be really easy to expend all my energy at
Mm,
once.
mm.
So I'm trying to it's like you've said, it's a marathon. Like,
This
yeah,
is.
today was rough, but it's a marathon.
Whoo.
We got a lot of walking left to do. So
Yes, sir.
with that said, happy Juneteenth, brother.
My man, oh, thank you, appreciate it. I worked. Most black people worked on it. It's mostly for white collar folks. Make that make sense, America. But
Yeah.
it's like it's like an ongoing joke between my siblings. I'm like, you Juneteenth? Yeah, we Juneteenth.
We Juneteenth.
We Juneteenth.
And for those
And
who don't know, Juneteenth is a celebration of when slavery officially ended.
the
The
last
last,
one out.
yes. So
Which
that
I've been
was it.
celebrating Juneteenth for like decades.
But it's something that a lot of people, including myself, really didn't become aware of.
Right,
Probably in the last 5 years or so.
right.
Maybe 10,
And
but
then it's
five
been
for me. Like the last 5 years have been really like, oh, that's informational.
right,
Like it's kind
right.
of like I forget who Tom Hanks said it. He said, "What's the Tulsa massacre?"
Yeah.
And this is a dude in his 60s, saying, "I had no idea what this was."
Right.
And I
Talking about
lit and I
Bighorn and all these wars that happened.
exactly,
And he's like, I've never heard about this, which happened in my grandparents' lifetime. Yeah.
Yep. So it's just it's nice to see it celebrate. It's nice to see people not dismissing it. Of course,
Right.
some people do, the extremists do, but I think a lot of people are realizing, hey, this is part of our history, and
Absolutely.
it's an important part of our history.
Right.
We want to, as much as we want to focus on the negatives, it's like one of the few bright points of, hey, this is us recognizing that this is wrong, and this is the last. This was the last of the people to be notified.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm glad that it's being
The last
educated
one
now.
out. I mean,
Yep.
it's
Feel
it's
like
it's
I was the
interesting that
last one in to know.
Dear America.
Dear America.
God, it's so good. But yeah, so the
It
ongoing joke
is.
though is who's essential, who's works in essential work, and who gets the day off. And it's like, damn, you don't have many, and this is what it brings some light onto it. You don't have many black people at the top being white collar jobs. And so when you see who gets the time off, like really, who's like, oh, and now we have Juneteenth taken off, and it's like, okay, but who has to still work?
Yeah.
And it's like then you start realizing, okay, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But I
Well, it's
will say
like,
to you,
go ahead, sorry.
I went to a dope party in Fort Greene last weekend.
Oh, nice.
And you saw all shades of black, and it was so beautiful to see everybody in their fits, and it was like just so many different and eclectic styles because we're not a monolith, and it's like it was so beautiful to just see how everybody was rocking their Sunday, and it happened to be it was Father's Day, and it was this
Yeah.
beautiful clash of seeing Father's Day and then Juneteenth in the park. And I was like, that's some Brooklyn shit right there. Like it was beautiful to see it on full display. What
Yeah,
up,
man.
Kaylin? We see you, girl. We see you.
Yes, and as always, thank you to Kaylin, our moderator, our in-house moderator. And on that note, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe. We are on all the platforms. So if you
Yo,
don't catch us live on Fridays, you can download us on all your favorite streaming platforms. We're on Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, whatever you want to listen to us. But there's no excuse. You can take us everywhere.
I heart Ryan. Let's go.
All right. So with that, let's get into it, man. So the Supreme Court today had a couple of rulings,
Cool.
and I felt like, did you feel like it was a roller coaster reading some of these that like some of the headlines coming out?
That that's the biggest thing about these headlines is I'm trying to stay away from a lot of it. Where I'm like, all right, if I need to, let me get into the full scope of what they're actually putting out there. Um, being what who's there. Like real quick, Alito's been gone for 2 of them, like back to back. Flag Boy wasn't even there,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, so there's some, what's happening with that one? But I just saw the headline for this one. And I was like, okay, they uphold the gun law, and I'm like, all right, but
And the only dissent was Clarence Thomas.
of course, of course.
It's like something as simple as that. That's what gives me like.
What not? But you're questioning, and this is the thing. There's that bug in the back of your head where you're questioning his actual motives because you're like, well, he belongs to Harlan Crow, so what
You
is
already know.
Harlan's view on this? You know what I mean? Because
Well,
it's like, let me go ahead and talk to Yo Massa. Like, what does he think about these? Or does he have stock in it? Or how deep are the levels of this man in bed with? Right?
yeah.
We know where Clarence Thomas is. Crow says jump, and my man is clapping how high. That's what's happening right there. So, but you look at in general, I'm with Anita Hill. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, man, she tried to warn us, didn't she? She
I'm with
tried.
Anita Hill.
You know,
Fuck that man. So I
it,
didn't
it,
curse. I
it
didn't curse.
it's
But
just disappointing to me because here we have a Supreme Court justice showing us that he will not place the safety of primarily women. When you're talking about, I think, domestic abuse, but
yeah,
men can be victims of it as well.
of course, of
So,
course.
you're essentially telling all victims that you don't care enough to disarm their potential, you know, intruders or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like, wow, what a message to send. Like that's almost even worse, an even worse message to send to women of you can't control your own body, or we're going to kick it back to the states.
think about
Now
that.
you're also saying that on top of you not being able to control what you do with your own body, we're also not going to disarm the people that mean you the most harm.
Right.
And that was the message I got from that one dissent vote.
Yeah.
As positive as this vote was, I was really happy to see it be 7-1, but or 8-1. Sorry, almost can't count.
2 + 2, Jello.
Two
All
plus
right.
two, 4.
Yeah.
No, it's good to see some of the, especially a case against, this is a challenge to the Second Amendment. It is,
Yeah.
but I just want to say this. This should remind us all that with every right comes responsibility.
Right.
And if we can't depend on public responsibility, then we need to legislate it or put it on the, make it legal, put it on the books.
Well, I really look at like Australia when they went through their crossroads, and it's like I always kind of really look at America and I go, how are we not trying to better ourselves every decade versus every millennia?
Yeah.
Because we're just shy of 250 years, right? This
Yep.
experiment has not been around long enough, and the fact that you look at like how Australia took, or even New Zealand most recently, where they had this gun violence, and they said, okay, you know what? If we all can't act right with them, we're gonna take them.
Yeah.
We're gonna fix this problem until we can act right. And it's like when you're looking
Just
at
the
it,
way
it's
the
a danger.
military punishes people, by the way.
Oh my God, it makes everybody act right, doesn't it?
It
But
does. You're
but
like,
it's
oh,
one of those
one of you
things.
is going to do this? Guess what? We're going to make you all pay. And guess what? I'm either
Everybody
that
gets
person's not
responsible.
going to do it again, or
Yeah,
everybody around that person is going to make sure that they don't do it
handle.
again.
They're gonna handle it,
They're going to
right? And
handle it.
then that's what I'm thinking. It needs to really come down into play of like, all right, so if this is at jeopardy, what are you gonna do about your neighbor? You gonna check your neighbor? You gonna check in if you
Yeah.
start seeing some of the domestic violence? Not saying that everybody needs to be forceful about anything, but it's one of those things of like, you know, how do we start looking out for each other? A cover and move policy almost.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And I know you have the outline, but I'm going to move something here. I
Shuffle it
think
all up. Throw
I'm
it
going
out
to
the window.
shuffle. Well, I want to talk about. So I think it's a good transition to talk about this positive Supreme Court ruling and pivot it into what happened today, which is there was another mass shooting. It was at a grocery store in Arkansas.
Yeah.
3 people lost their lives. There were another 10 injured, and it wasn't an illegal. It wasn't an immigrant. It was an American. That
Shocker. Shocker.
Not to a lot of us, but um, this just goes to show that we need to get serious
Yeah.
about how we're going to address this problem. And again, I'm not sitting here saying I have the answer, that I know the solution, because I don't. But I would sure hope and would love to see more Americans coming together and saying, okay, we're not saying we're going to take everybody's, weapons, but here's our current reality, and what are
Yeah.
we going to do about it? What middle ground can we find that the majority can agree with? We're
I
always
want
going
to
to have the
see,
extremists on both sides that it's
of
not
course.
going to be enough, but we need to get in a majority to get on the same page here. We're losing innocent people's lives for nothing. For
I want to see like
nothing.
a DMV for the Second Amendment. Like, let's just, if you really go through that process, you deserve to have your gun.
Yeah,
Plain and simple. I just want to see some
yeah.
type of organization that is literally just as
And majority.
fundamentally upsetting as the DMV. And
Yes.
you let me go through that system, get my ticket, go register, go sit there and renew it every so long. And are you keeping up with your
Yeah.
training? Because how many people are getting training?
No,
And on top
not
of that, I
many.
mean, and we talk about this too. Even looking at places like Israel, where everybody's in the IDF. If everybody is a soldier and everybody has a weapon, everybody knows how to use a weapon, you start seeing those numbers really come down. So it's like you got to
Yeah.
find a fine medium of what could be the right course of action.
I think that's a really good point too. Is soft targets. You know, if you don't know, if you're walking into a place and 90% chance that nobody's going to be armed,
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty easy to puff your chest out and go walk in there and take lives.
Right.
But a lot
But
of
if
these
grandma's
chick,
packing,
but a lot of chickens, when they know that there's a potential for pushback, if it's like 50
no.
50 or something, then a lot of them won't go through. Some of them just they don't care about their own life, but
Right.
a lot of the times they want the attention and they want to get caught. Okay.
It's so wild. It's so
So
wild.
that's what I mean. It's hard to keep shrugging my shoulders, knowing that kids in schools are doing these drills, and
Yeah.
people are losing their lives at the movie theater, the grocery store, the mall. Like these aren't war zones, people.
Right. Like
And
you don't need an AR-15 to go hunting. I've never met anybody who's like, I go
no.
hunting with my AR. It's like,
But can I
no.
tell you? But can I be honest with you, bro? Jen and I were talking, and I told her it was either today or yesterday, and I said, with everything going on, and I'm not just talking about personally with me,
Yeah.
the stupid threats I get, but just in general, I told her, I said, for the first time, I don't feel like we have enough firepower in the house. And I said, and I've
Yeah.
never felt that way.
Yeah.
And
Are you gonna get a bazooka? Because I was actually gonna put that on your Christmas list.
no, but I'm seriously thinking about getting an AR because I don't feel comfortable anymore.
Yeah.
And the fact that the type of people that are coming after me, I told her, I said, if three of them show up to the house,
Yeah.
yeah, we might be able to take them. If five show up, if 10 show up,
Right.
yeah, I don't know if three clips, and a Glock's
Well,
going to be
I
enough.
hope if 10 people are showing up to your house, you're doing something right and you can afford security. I'm just saying.
Man,
I'm just saying.
see, here's the thing. My mayor in our city, there was a
Yeah.
large group of people that they all got together and they marched to her house in the middle of the night. I mean, there was 50,
Right.
70 of them. It wasn't a small group. So,
Right.
these people right now, I think we have to be realistic about what's happening.
Yeah.
And the fact is that Donald Trump and the, you know, I keep like I keep thinking that it's only the extremists, but it's getting hard to pick between Republicans and Trump supporters right now. I got to be honest with y'all.
Well,
And
that's because it's a cult. I mean, I used to try to really fight not calling it that, but as we get closer and closer, I'm
oh, it
like,
is.
wow, like you guys really just keep pushing the goalposts back, and it's a
Well,
cult. It
and
just
that's the scary
own it.
part is that I can see like I can see what he's doing. I can
Right.
see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like they're prepping for physical reaction,
Yeah.
not just go vote.
J6 2.0. You're absolutely
It
right.
it is.
Yeah.
And anybody that doesn't think that that's a possibility isn't paying attention.
Right.
Like
That's willful ignorance.
it
Willful
really
ignorance.
is.
Yeah.
And you can say it's I'm fear mongering or whatever, but I'm telling you guys, I spend my days doing this.
Yeah.
These people are spinning up their supporters to do something really stupid this time.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think there's still enough of them to make it a concern.
100%. 100%. And keep in mind, I want everybody to really remember this. There was a lot of off-duty cops, people in law enforcement that were at J6.
Yeah, that too.
You
And,
know,
and that
let's just
still
be real
support and
serious.
still support him. That still support the Michael Flynn types,
Absolutely.
that are out there. Again, Michael Flynn is literally pushing for, treason-like behavior,
Yeah.
and and,
Yeah.
and too many people ignore it.
Yeah. Oh,
Again, go ahead. Sorry.
no. I would just, you're absolutely right. I was going to just tie in that, but yes.
Yeah. So it's why I'm glad the Supreme Court, made their ruling to protect domestic uh, violence victims.
Yeah.
Hopefully that makes a solid dent,
I
data
mean, just one
wise.
more line of protection. I mean, and that's the
Exactly.
thing.
It's not. It can't be a negative, right?
People always throw around their my rights. You're treading on my rights, and it's like, yeah, but don't I have a right to live? Don't I have a right to
Don't
feel
my kids
safe?
have a right to
You
go,
know what I mean?
go to school?
Right? You know, and it's those things where I go, there's more than just one right. There's a lot of
Yes.
amendments. I'm just saying, and so for us to be in a society, there's a lot more, and you have to be a little more conscious about other people. So yes, there may have to be a back seat with something where it goes to you using your little boom boom. Pew pew.
Pew pew. And no,
But
nobody sane wants that.
yeah,
Like I don't want people to show up to my home. I like
no.
I don't want to see
I mean,
something
show
like
up for a barbecue. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Let's
show up
cook
for
out.
yeah, like something like that. But
You
yeah,
better bring some
I'm not.
snacks.
You know, too many people are getting a little too comfortable threatening people's families, threatening them at their personal homes. Like
Well,
it
again, I'm just really glad everybody here on the show and for the most part on the internet got to see what you go, just a taste of what you go through,
yeah,
and that's as bittersweet as that is to swallow. I'm really glad that it was on the forefront for everyone because
yeah,
it just shows you how brazen people feel for some reason to take it to another level where it's like, here we are just talking about ideas. We're not passing laws. I'm not
our
taking anything away
opinions.
from you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But it's ideas. It's
Yep.
just how can we make the system better? And that is something you want to get upset about. And I'm like, you know what? If that's how you want to spend your Friday night, welcome to the show. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. Welcome to Hold the Mic.
Yes,
Playa.
sir. Yes, sir. So, but with that, so let's move on to the negative of the Supreme Court today.
I thought that was negative. Clarence Thomas, negative.
Yeah, well, Clarence Thomas is always a negative. Um, but the Supreme Court ruled against a California woman whose husband was denied a visa to get into the U.S.
Oh.
Now, what makes this an interesting story is two things. One, the main reason that they didn't allow him in is because of some tattoos he had.
Oh, okay.
They based their
Off the
decision
ink.
primarily off of his ink.
Off the ink. Okay.
Right.
All right.
So she thought that was wrong, took it up to Supreme Court, and they basically ruled that they can deny him for whatever they freaking want, essentially. And
Interesting.
the reason that this is interesting is because other news from this week is that Joe Biden is signing executive orders to try to make the process of getting immigrants into the country quicker and
Yeah.
more accessible.
Yeah.
And
More
of course,
organized.
exactly.
Keep that
And
moving.
we've talked about that on this show. You
Yeah.
want to talk about how to solve the problem at the border. It isn't building a wall. It's by getting resources and streamlining these processes that take freaking 6 years that
Yeah.
there's no reason we shouldn't be able to get done in, a year. So it's like when you see a president actually trying to do that now, and they were
Right.
just saying 2 months ago, well, why hasn't he used his executive orders to address it yet? And then he uses his executive order to address it, and they all start crying. Because
yeah.
at the end of the day, the Republican Party and Trump supporters in MAGA do not want us, or Democrats, solving the problem. They do not want Biden and Kamala Harris getting credit for solving the problem, or even not even solving it. I don't even want to say that because solving it would take so much more.
Right.
Yeah, but making a dent in this, they're crying because he's making a dent in fixing the process. So it's just kind of like, so the Supreme Court, what they just did is they basically just looked at the Biden administration and said, well, when that gets here, we're going to be shooting it down. And so it's going to be real interesting to see how the Supreme Court rules on his executive order now.
Well, it's interesting to me because the CBO got involved and they looked at some numbers and they crunched some stuff down. I don't know if you read about this, and I didn't send it to you, and I should have, but it was talking about what a positive fact immigration has on America and how
Yeah.
it will bring like 9 trillion to our GDP. And you're like,
Yes.
wait a minute. So we're against immigration, but at the same time, as in the loudest of the loud, but at the same time, we are literally swimming in debt.
Yep.
And then here is this other version of things that can actually help us balance the budget, just on another level. And
Yeah.
you're looking at what actual immigration does for this country, which, mind you, most people there are immigrants. So, and I mean that as in, if you came on the Mayflower or anything after, you immigrant.
You're an immigrant. Yep.
So,
It's just, again, I don't understand watching one political party in our country, just continually, um, you know, push misinformation and try to. It's like they don't care if the American people get messed over.
no.
As long as they win. And that's the part that bothers me. It's much more about vendettas and owning the libs and whatever than it is about, look, is this good for the majority or
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Like we have turned governing into such a pile of cow dung that we can't even simplify things. Like, is that good for the American people? Yes, cool, let's pass it. Like, some of this stuff should be very, like, I understand there's much more nuances to this, but at the
Right.
end of the day, there's some of this stuff that should be very easy to pass. Oh, feeding hungry kids at school? Yeah, that should be pretty simple in my book.
You know, which I got to give Black Panther Party a lot of credit for bringing free lunch to schools, because that's who set it off back in the
Yep.
day. And so a real major shout out to the
Kids
Black
can't
Panther
learn
Party.
if they're hungry.
No, no, not at all. And so when you look at the elements of like, how do we do socialism for corporate greed versus people who actually need it, right? And I really think about that. We
Yeah.
build out all the banks, we build out all these people, we build out the auto industry, which I get some things needed to happen. But at the same time, how are you not doing that now for the lowest of us who need the help, need the assistance?
Yeah.
So I just need this duality to kind of fade away, where you're looking at, okay, it's your turn. Plain and simple. I took care of them at the top because they were crumbling, and now I'm going to take care of you to help you get a leg up. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those things.
Another way to look to say that would be, where is the trickle down economics that you promised us in the 80s?
It's trickle.
Yeah.
Just shake my head.
Trickle is the key word in this. It's
You know what I
still
mean?
it's still trickling.
It's still trickling. Slow drip. Slow drip.
So this is my buddy Frank. He runs a thing here in Tucson where we all meet up virtually, and it's a really cool thing. And I'm sorry I haven't made it back yet. I will make it back. But he brings people on every week to talk for like 25 minutes. But before that, they do like breakout rooms, so you get to talk to like 2-3 people directly, but you get to meet everybody as a whole as well. So it's really cool what he's doing. I really love it. So, but he said, did you all see Trump on the All In podcast? I did not. So I'll have to go check that out. I'm assuming he said some ridiculous things.
Yeah. Shout out, Frank. For my own personal diet, Frank, I try not to watch anything
He leaves
live
that to me.
I leave it all to you. I get my news from Ryan, and especially during a Ryan rant, so I think it's crystal
Oh, man.
clear. It gets right to the point. He usually moves the mic out of the way, and then he just talks directly to me. That's how that works.
I have to get it a little farther away so that I don't yell into it. I went back to one episode and I went into the rant and I was like, man, you got to pull the mic away.
Remember, like Whitney Houston, okay? Pull it-
Exactly. You can't.
pull it
You
back.
can't belt it all in
You
there.
gotta do it. You gotta do it.
Um,
So yes, Frank. For my own mental health, I don't watch anything Trump live. I just get the cliff notes, and I just kind of just pop in and check out some of its things. And I turn it off when I'm done. I'm like, quick.
I did see they posted that Trump posted that he is in favor of putting the 10 Commandments up in schools and everywhere for that matter. I just did a video going through the Ten Commandments, and I said, now just think about Trump or the MAGA party when I read each one of these. He didn't check one off, bro.
No, no, no. He has a different 10 Commandments,
I'm
man.
like, look, man, like I try to live my life, in a way that I think, when my time comes, if I come to my maker, that I'll be able to justify what I've done with my life. But
Man,
but I even when you read the Ten Commandments, I'm like, yeah, I fall short there. You
I'm
know,
just saying, I was told that even on your deathbed, if you repent, you going in. So I was like, you know what? I'll wait until then. I'm just saying. I got time, baby. I got time. I got time. How much? You
he's
got
like,
5
I'm
seconds
gonna
left.
dirty my plate as much as I can.
My bad. I love you, Jesus. You
Yeah,
know
this
what I'm
man,
saying?
this
So there we
guy,
go.
this man's gonna walk in with a sin plate like towered up to like this,
Hey, I told you.
just
Make sure you call
gobbling
me to
it
that
up
barbecue.
too.
Call me to that barbecue. I'm showing up with that plate. That's how we're doing things. No,
Oh my
I
God.
always ask people when they talk about the 10 Commandments. I go, well, how would you feel if it was the Quran that was plastered on your kids'
Yeah,
classroom,
exactly.
or if they were learning Hebrew and it was like that's what they're learning. They're not going to learn about this religion or anything.
Yep.
If they're going to do all of it across the board and put everything in there, great. Why not? Let's do it. Here's what religion looks like. But if you're just focusing on one, and then you're telling us you're not indoctrinating, there's
Yeah.
something off about that.
So, for those wondering, just in case for those listening, especially for our international listeners, we added another country. So, to everybody that's
Yo,
supporting us,
shout out.
yeah, for everybody supporting us outside of the country, thank you so much. We love you. We see you listening. We see you downloading the podcast. So, we definitely got a few friends in Ireland because we're getting a lot of downloads there. So,
That's what's up, man. They
yeah,
have
shout out to our friends in Ireland.
they have the
Uh,
Simpsons and then Hold the Mic as interpretations of Americans. That's it.
That's it.
Here we are. Here we are.
Oh, but for anybody who maybe hasn't heard, Louisiana signed a bill into law that mandates the Ten Commandments be put up in every school.
Man, I'm telling you right
Like,
now,
what was
Louisiana's
your
gonna bring back.
like? What was your initial gut reaction to that?
Of course, it's Louisiana. I mean, look, I go to Louisiana. I go there. I see it. I
Oh,
see it.
really? I've never
see
been
it.
to. That's
Never
one
been.
state I've never been. Yeah.
It is okay. So Louisiana to me I have a soft spot for it. There's no place like it in America, and by that I mean when you see NOLA, and keep in mind I have family down there, so I go down there. Like I'm actually going down there in August, and a 100-year-old birthday party. So it's about to be a party, right? And the culture down there is they do the second line dance for your wedding and for your funeral. Okay. What is it? What are we missing?
Cody says, I find it hilarious, awesome even, that you have the same amount of viewers on your live as Roger Stone does on his right now.
And there you have it. And there you have it. I hope that's a good thing or bad. I don't know yet. I don't know. Is that a good
I think
thing or
it's a
bad?
good thing. We got the same amount of viewers as Roger Stone,
All right.
Mr. I Need a Pardon.
There we go. Well, let's get these numbers up, baby. Let's beat them. Let's get past that.
That's what I'm saying. Hit
Let's get 'em
that
up.
like button, share it. Tell everybody about us.
Show up, man. 'Cause the shenanigans are here, man. That's what I was talking about earlier.
For
The
sure.
shenanigans are here. But Louisiana. One thing I love about the culture down there is that they have the second line. Which, if you've never done it, you gotta make sure you get to one to do it. But it's they do it for a wedding and they also do it for a funeral. And anything that has that, one of the happiest and possibly one of the saddest moments, that might be your kids.
Can you hear him on your end?
I heard something.
Good Lord.
I love.
I don't know what they're doing. I swear to God.
Being siblings, as they should.
Yeah.
be.
Oh, dude. It's
You know
been
what I
a
mean?
week.
It's
been a week.
Hey, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah,
it's all
it's summer
there.
vacation for sure.
Oh,
sorry.
it
Back
just
to
kicks
Louisiana.
off.
I'm sorry.
It just kicks off.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. But it's one of those things where it's a beautiful culture down there, especially in NOLA. When you see just how the people are and everything.
That's where I want to go. Yeah.
It's a beautiful. It's amazing. I mean, look, it could be a terrible night, or it could be the best time of your life. It depends on the adventure you choose, right? That's all I can say to you.
Depends on the door you pick.
It depends on you. That's all I got to say. You only have you to blame. But in general, I could see it happen there because also the mentality. There's a strong chokehold by their government to stay in power, and this is just one more thing. And then they are highly religious down there. It's a very religious place, So But
But
yeah,
to mandate it in all schools, it's like,
I'm just
ugh.
saying, where's the Quran? Where is anything
Not even
else?
that. Just the way they freaked out when they put an LGBTQ flag on the wall.
That's what I'm saying. You know,
Like,
it's anything. If you're going to be this biased and this blunt about it, it's like, okay, expect some blowback.
yeah.
You know.
So with that being said, on to more crappy leaders. Uh,
First off, I just want you to know something. You posted something a minute ago and I tagged you. I wrote to you privately, and I was like, Ryan, this needs to be a new segment for the show. Do you remember that text I sent to you?
no.
It was a quick one, and I literally texted you, and I thought about this. I was like, this is going to be a segment that we're going to start. That segment's called No Cure for Stupid.
No cure.
We're gonna No Cure for Stupid. We're gonna make sure, because we have a number of segments in the show.
We do.
We're
gonna
gonna be
get
adding
to a few in a second.
We're gonna get to a few, but I'm just letting you know we're gonna be adding, and you get to throw it in there when you're ready. But No Cure for Stupid is gonna be a segment on this show. Mark my words.
I like it. Write that down, Kaylin.
No Cure for Stupid.
She's gonna be like, I'm gonna run with it. Oh, Bunny's in here. Hey, Bunny.
What up, Angry Bunny?
Trying the Twitter chat. Yeah, it works. The only thing that sucks is, so Kaylin doesn't have access to the Twitter comments. She only has access to, so I've got to get her on the streaming software, but we just haven't been able to figure it out yet. We're gonna figure it out though.
Also, real quick.
Yeah, go. Sorry.
Happy summer solstice to everybody. All right.
Yes.
Shout out to everyone.
Yes.
Happy summer solstice. We are kicking this off right. I'm just so thankful that we got to do the show on the solstice. So the longest day, which it does feel good and bad, like the longest.
It did feel like a long day, didn't it?
Could this sun just get up off me real quick?
And can I just say, can we stop spray painting things for climate change?
Man,
for the love of, come on! Like when I saw my wife's been to Stonehenge. When I showed her that video, like she got physically upset.
Yeah.
She was like, these, like, and I get it. It was like starch or something that's going to wash off in the rain or something like that. But
is it though?
We'll see.
Okay.
But it's also like, okay, but when's it going to wash off? Because like you just said, the reason that you had access to Stonehenge was because the only time they open it up or one of the only times, is for summer solstice. So they had this planned knowing that security was going to be more lax than it usually is.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to get close to Stonehenge, I hope you took your opportunity, because now they're not ever going to open up security to it again.
This is one of those moments where I really am like, thank God I wasn't there, because I would have got arrested for a different reason.
Well, the funny thing was, I wish I had put the video in now, because so there's a dude, and I think the other one's a woman. And you can kind of tell, because two dudes walk up and start, going for the guy.
Right.
But one guy kind of like he's going for the woman. And he's like you could tell he's hesitant, and you just see another dude come out of the corner like nowhere, and it was like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, and that would have been me. That would have been me.
That
would have been me. I would have took that canister and right upside their head. I'm like, get the hell out of here.
Exactly. Doing things like that. And I said this. I said, the only reason you're doing this is for people to talk about you. I said, so you want us to talk about you? Let me talk about it.
And here's the question. How many of them have a car? How many of them are using whatever type of transportation to get around to get there? You know what I mean? So unless you're taking a kayak and have a bike and that's all you're doing in life, then don't start with me.
And even if it was made out of starch or whatever they claim it was made out of, that aerosol that was coming out, that was putting it out, that I don't care what you say, that's not good for the environment.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So you're gluing yourself down to the pavement. You're blocking traffic. You're throwing paint on the Mona Lisa. Like, you're not winning any support by doing this shit. And when we talk about you, we're not talking about you in a good way.
Nobody likes you.
Yeah, like even the people on the left, me, are looking at you and going, no. This isn't getting you what you want.
If you make me late for a flight that I had to spend my hard-earned money to get to,
pick up my kid,
you might get ran over. I'm not playing with you.
Like blocking traffic to me, that's like you're taking your life in your hands. Good luck.
You're trusting. You're trusting a lot. You're trusting. I'm just letting you know.
You're trusting that people are going to stop.
Yeah. And in Florida, it's a law that they don't have to now.
Yeah,
so good luck. Good luck.
But you know, it's to me that's almost one of those things. Like, it's sad that we have to make a law about that, but you know, like there's been people that have lost their lives in the back of ambulances because they couldn't get through. You know,
Facts.
they couldn't get to
Yeah.
the hospital.
Yeah.
So like it's a whole nother level when you're costing lives. You know,
No,
doing what you're
100%.
doing.
Or even the aspect. I'll give you a perfect example. I just missed a protest here in New York on the Brooklyn Bridge as I was crossing over, and I got to see some of
Today?
the no.
Oh,
This was I didn't talk about it, but a couple weeks ago,
okay.
and but I was going to go get my kid. If I am not there to pick up my kid at a certain time, they're calling Child Protective Services on me.
Yep. Tell them.
So if I am literally stuck because you are having a protest about whatever that has nothing to do with any of us here or in real time of anything that is actually putting our lives in danger, then we're going to have a problem,
It's going to
regardless
kick
of what your
off a
message
chain
is.
reaction of things.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So here
Yeah.
now my kid is being taken from me because you have this whatever, and you're not helping me get my kid. You know what I
No,
mean?
they
So
won't
in the
care.
end, it's like, and you won't care, and you're just gonna write me right off. And it's like, so it's that reverberates. It's felt both ways. You don't care that you're literally impeding me from doing what I need to do, where I didn't ask for any of this. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I believe your message. We just need to find a better way to do it.
And when I criticized him, I said that I said that I'm like, look, I acknowledge climate change. Like,
Right.
we definitely need to get serious about addressing it. You know,
Oh yeah.
especially within legislation and things. Like, yeah, I'm all for that stuff. But
And I'm gonna
this
address that one of
isn't.
your kids is losing the fight. I'm just gonna address that right now.
Are they? See, I've got the earbuds in. Okay, hang on. Let me. All right, guys. If you're on TikTok, hang on one second. So if you're on TikTok, real quick, go over to my YouTube or my Twitter. It's better anyway. You get to hear Ian, and he's much more attractive than I am. I promise. So go over there real
I look
quick.
like a Muppet.
You look like a Muppet, my butt. So the link's in my bio. You just click that link, and it's gonna bring up all my social media platforms. So you can go over to you can go to YouTube or Twitter or Kick, and we are live there right now. I'm going to see what is going on with my children.
I got you. You can trust the show with me for 5 seconds.
5 seconds. Better mute the mic. Have child services over.
You mute your mic.
Yeah, exactly.
Have your dad moment.
Hang
But
on. No,
I will talk
I'll
about
have
a couple
I'll-
things that are going on. I will jump in some stuff. I won't talk about your segment right now. But there's a couple of things. Some of the stuff that I want to talk about is I know that we saw LL Cool J with Sway.
Oh,
We can talk about
bro.
some music.
Bro.
We can talk about some of that.
Like, I wish I could
Don't
play
sleep
that.
on LL.
I
Don't
wish I
sleep.
could play that.
Don't sleep on LL.
LL was on, what was that, Sway 45?
Sway in the morning. So, yes.
So he was on Sway in the morning, Sway 45, and they asked him to do a freestyle.
Yeah.
And holy crap. Like,
He just showed you where he's at.
the GOAT.
He's that good.
he's the
He
GOAT.
is. He is. He's well. He has the mic on the arm, and so it's
Yeah,
like that's for a
man.
reason. That one mic. That's him. That's LL Boy. But
That,
there's.
that freestyle was, it was insane.
I encourage everybody to go back and watch his Gap commercial, the acapella where he's rapping about Gap, and then you realize the brilliance behind what he does, where he promotes FUBU
Yeah.
for us, by us, and he throws that in the rap, and Gap,
Yep.
it went over their head. They had no idea of the 4D chess this man was playing.
Oh, yeah.
It went completely over their head. He's
So
a
good,
genius,
though.
man. He's and a shout out to him for becoming an actor and doing everything he's doing, getting his money. But
Oh, man.
don't sleep on LL. Do not
He's
sleep.
still doing NCIS in Hawaii now.
Yeah, don't sleep on him.
Don't know. LL,
No.
like, and that's what I said. I said I felt like I was sleeping on him now because that freestyle was just insane. And
No,
what was
hip-hop's doing
insane
great.
about it, not just the way he transitioned from rhyme to rhyme, but just the level of vocabulary he was using was like, holy
He's
crap.
He's deep.
Yeah,
He's
it wasn't just like, rhyming the and this and no, he was,
He ain't no mumble rapper. So
No,
you better get
like-
it. You better get it right.
man, like you understood every word that came out of his mouth.
Oh yeah. And they hit bars. They hit.
As soon as he said slow it down, I was like, oh shit.
Oh, yeah. I felt like Dad was like, take a seat. I'm like, okay,
Yeah. Okay, I'm about to listen.
all right, here we go.
So kind of ruined my transition, but we're just gonna get into it. So
Man, they don't see the outline. You can just keep talking, man. It's good.
I know. But I'm just saying, you ruined my good transition from
Stop.
horrible Louisiana leaders. But
I'm just saying, it's all good. It's all good.
Putin is in North Korea. I don't know if he's still there, but he landed in North Korea the other day, and he's been having a sleepover with Kim Jong Un.
Oh my God! They have a sleepover, man. There's popcorn. They got little snacks.
No. Hold on, bro. Look.
Ah!
Look at him. Trump's looking at that right now, and he's so mad because they didn't do that.
Oh my God!
No, I'm not done. Look at this.
Oh, stop it!
Look at this. Did you see Trump getting driven around like this,
bro?
I didn't.
Oh my God!
I saw Trump getting used for a photo op.
Oh my God!
Those two people, in case you're wondering what happened, they signed an alliance, basically.
Yeah.
Saying that if you attack either of them, that
the ones promised to jump in.
And again, if you've been following me for years, you can go back into my Twitter from probably around 3 years ago, and I told you that one of my biggest concerns was if Russia and China and North Korea all sat down one day and said, who's the one person that we all hate? America.
Yeah.
And that if those three countries decided to put their differences and everything aside to come after us, I hate to tell you guys, we'd be in some trouble.
Well, it's interesting to see what alliances are being made right now and what kind of chess they're trying to play.
Yeah.
Because you look at that, it's like, okay, so Russia's now going to help provide Korea with its nuclear, right? That's part of the deal.
Yep.
Korea is going to be able to reach America and also have full force against South Korea. But regardless of that, and I mean, I don't know why we're on our doom and gloom this Friday for summer solstice, but we're but here we are, man. Here we are.
How we celebrate.
As I told you, I'll wait my last 5 seconds to go ahead make peace with God. So there we are. But it's interesting to see who's kind of getting in bed, but then to see see Russia come to Cuba, and then be like, okay, we're in your backyard. We just want to let you know that we're here.
How horrible is the timing of because when the subs and everything rolled into Cuba, I was like, okay, but this is normal. This happens every couple of years.
Right.
This is an exercise.
Yeah.
What changed was the minute he freaking landed in North Korea and started forming an alliance, to have those two things happening at the same time, even I'll admit that that's not good.
And I was saying that last week. And your brother was like, no, this was scheduled. Shout out to Patrick. He was like, this was scheduled. Da, da, da. Like,
I was saying that.
You both were.
Yeah.
You both
100%. 100%.
But it's one of those things where I was like, nah, this just seems a little off. This time it seems a little off. And then to see him, because it's also looking at how he is struggling so much with Ukraine, and then seeing what kind of deal they're trying to strike there. They're trying to tell Ukraine, you cannot join the UN. We will stop full force if you do not join the UN. And it's like, who you feel safer with? Yeah. Let's remind you of Crimea. He took that. Yep. So who do you feel safer with? So
and what did Trump do there?
Oh my God, man.
What was it? Oh, that's right. Nothing.
Well, Crimea was Obama.
No, was it?
Yeah.
No, what? Oh, we walked away from the Kurds. Sorry.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
My fault. Thank you for correcting me.
Hey, this is what I want people to see the show. We are all about the facts.
Yeah.
We take shots at everybody. No one's safe. That one, Obama did not. Yeah, Obama did not want to flex on Putin for that one.
Nope.
And I will say there's certain things on Obama's list that I disagree with, and that I critique.
I would love to ask.
He played it way too. He played it way too safe.
I would like to actually. I wonder what his answer would be how he felt if that was the right call. If he still feels that was the right call.
You know what? Hindsight, of course, we can always talk about that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I look at how what he's probably talking about with Biden on how to handle the situation now. And keep that in mind. Don't think for 1 second that all these presidents, be Bush, Obama, and hell, if Carter was still able to throw a phrase out there here and there, he's still around. Hey, this man will not die.
He's been on hospice for like freaking a year.
10 years.
No, like he's literally been on hospice for like a year.
I know. He's been building houses up until last year.
Yeah, every time
Like,
they
let's be
say, every
serious.
time his son comes out and says, "Yeah, he's getting close," it's like, I, I don't think he's going to die.
It's almost like Mr. What's that damn groundhog that sees a shadow in Pennsylvania?
Puxatawny Phil.
Pexatonic Phil. This is literally Carter's the next version, man. I'm telling you right now. Put him in tuxedo, let him see his shadow, and he's gonna be around for another 10
I
years.
think I mean, he's definitely going to have the Guinness Book World Record for longest living president. I think.
Bro.
I
Bro.
think he's probably got that one locked down.
That's wild. That's wild to think about.
Because I don't think you look at Biden, Trump, Clinton, maybe Obama, but you look at them guys, they ain't making it to 100.
Black don't crack, but I'm telling you right now, my man's smoking a pack of cigarettes. All right, I'm already. I'm telling you.
Oh, dude.
You know he's smoking like a chain. So.
Oh,
And
Obama.
Obama.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very
young.
I think he was still doing it in the White House.
Yeah, he was sneaking them. Come on now.
Yeah. Dude, there are some days, especially if you're a former smoker, there are just some days where it's like, either I'm going to kill somebody or you're going to give me one of those.
And yeah, he didn't push the button, right? And he didn't
I guarantee you, somebody in his Secret Service detail was a smoker and had one handy for him
at all times. At all times. This is the Eagles. Whizzle. Here you
Yep,
go.
here you go.
So good. So good.
That's so good. But no, I agree with you. I really do think that the addition of him going to Korea and making this deal right now,
Yeah.
It was a message.
Yeah.
And message received by most of us.
Yeah. Especially to see what.
Like I said, it took me a minute to get there too. So.
Well, then I don't know if I'm wearing a tin hat or what's happening anymore, because I'm just seeing the dots.
Well, I mean, again, when something happens like a military exercise that's always happening, like it's kind of hard to get excited about it. You're like, okay, like it's something that it's not outside, it's not something that doesn't happen on a regular. So it's kind of like, for me, I was just like, okay, well that happens. Like that's
well, let me ask you this
planned.
question. Let me ask you this. If you're at war, what's the point of going to another country across the globe and then having a parade?
Yeah, alliance, strictly for alliance purposes.
But there's other ways to do. I mean, but that's military might, right?
But I mean, we kind of do the same thing. We have.
Well, when we're at war, we're literally going to other countries and we're like, look what we can do, and like firing off rockets and being there and having these like moments.
I'd have to look, but I don't think they cancel. So like, we have what is it? I don't remember the name of it. I think Red Flag or something like that. But they bring in like the best pilots from all over the world.
Okay, pilots.
Yeah, and they come and they all it's like a Top Gun thing, but
right,
they all train together.
Right.
And when I went through tech school, we were in the middle of Iraq. I was going through tech school while we were dropping bombs in Baghdad, like legitimate. And we had Saudi Arabian people going through the course with us. And here's a really cool story for you. So this whole course, we've got this Saudi Arabia. He was actually a commander in his military, and he was going through it with us. Spoke really bad English, but he was going through everything, taking the test with us. And then we got to one of our last weeks in the school, and one of the things that we were taught was all of the technology that goes into our stealth fighters. So one of my jobs was, as an aircraft structural engineer, was I also had to learn how to work with the materials that you work with on those aircrafts. So as you can imagine, a lot of that knowledge is secret or confidential at a minimum. So we get handed, like, every block, we call them blocks. You get handed like a folder or whatever that you're going to be studying, and tells you what you're going to do. So he comes and he's handing down the folders and slapping them in front of all of us, at the table. And then he skips the Saudi Arabia guy. And as he's handing them out, he looks back and he goes, "Oh, sir, by the way, you can go to your barracks. We'll see you next week." They wouldn't teach him that.
Wow.
So, and as soon as he walked out, like about 10 minutes later, he explained it to us exactly what was going on. He's like, yeah, they're allowed to learn certain things, but there are certain things that he's like, and they literally tell us, don't tell him what we did. Don't tell him what we're learning.
Yeah.
Don't talk to him about it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Because we had already, like a lot of us already had our clearances going into
Right.
tech school.
Right.
So yeah, at that point, yeah.
But it just shows you how even that being a
We
skiff practically
even
of what
while
you guys are
we're in
allowing.
the middle of the war,
Yeah.
we were still having alliances and still teaching them things. We still had contracts where we would go over and we'd sell them a bunch of F-16s or whatever, and then we'd have to have a bunch of contractors or whoever go over there and teach them how to fly them, how to fix them,
Yeah.
everything. So there's
Wow.
always things going on like that. So I think that's
Yeah.
why it didn't raise a lot of flags for some of us. But like you said, I get the hair was just standing up on the back of your neck, and you knew something was off. And
Yeah.
as soon as I saw, I'm going to tell you exactly when I knew that we were in trouble. When I saw this. As soon as I saw him get up that plane and them embrace, I said, "Oh shit."
Yeah. Go back to that photo of him smiling in the car.
Oh,
That's how I.
they're
Hey, that's how I know.
yeah,
Right there.
yeah.
That's how I know.
And he's genuinely Kim Jong Un's genuinely having a good time. Like
Yeah.
his face is red, like he's
When you see
laughing.
Putin's face
Yeah,
is smirking,
yeah, they're having fun.
they really think that they have something special going on.
Yeah, and meanwhile Donald Trump's like, but look at the letter he wrote me.
That dude. That dude.
Yeah, and they're gonna
You
elect
know.
this guy. Like you're gonna elect somebody that would literally roll over and have these two guys pet his belly like he was a loyal dog.
He.
That's who you guys are gonna elect
You know what? We should bring in Christy Nome. She knows what to do.
with the ooh.
I'm just saying. Got to deal with a bad dog. Got to deal with a bad dog. Bring in Christy Nome.
Yeah, oh jeez. I feel bad for even saying that one. Um,
Why do I feel like I'm standing by myself in the ocean?
Where'd you go? Where is everybody?
Just fading away. That's all it is.
Yeah,
Yep,
exactly.
it's all there.
Oh man. Okay. So moving on from Putin and his love affair with North Korea, we do have some interesting audio from Donald Trump. Um, I hope you didn't see this yet. So he was doing an interview and he said that the late and great Joan Rivers had voted for him. Only problem was she died 2 years before the 2016
wasn't
election.
she dead? Wasn't she
Yeah,
dead?
she was already dead. So
You know this man has lost his shit. It's just he says so much crazy ass shit
Better,
that everybody
it's like,
just rolls off.
so you're admitting that dead people really did vote for you.
Oh my god. It's like quit telling on yourself.
Come
I have all
on.
the best friends.
I saw it. I saw
They
it.
came from the grave. They voted for me. Get out of
Oh
here.
man.
Stop it right now. I just hate this. I just hate this man's the way he talks.
I cannot wait to never talk about this dude again.
Yo.
Ever.
Yo.
Like that's the thing. They ask stupid questions that make me want to like literally punch myself in the face. Like, well, have you tried to buy anything lately? No, I haven't tried to buy anything lately. I just have 2 kids, a wife. I don't feed them. I don't clothe them. I don't pay my bills.
Let's not even talk about dog food. No,
Yeah,
nothing.
got $65 a bag.
Right.
Like,
But,
of course we buy things.
Let's look at corporate wages. Let's look at what's happening. Let's see what the earnings are. And is it historic earnings that they're all making right now? Okay,
No.
let's talk about that.
Oh, yes, they are.
Let's talk about the historic earnings that are happening literally right now. Just in general.
Yep.
Last I checked.
And that's my thing too. Like they're so simple-minded when they talk about things like inflation. It's like if you're going to talk about inflation, then you have to talk about tariffs and all sorts of other things.
This tariff conversation is wild.
It is. But you have to go back and look at the tariffs that Trump put on.
Yeah.
It's like, and then on top of it, he's campaigning on, wait for it, he's campaigning on getting rid of income taxes altogether.
Yeah.
Not just for tips. All income tax. And when asked, how are you going to supplement all of that income. What was his answer? Tariffs.
Yeah.
If you think that tariffs is going to make up for income taxes, holy crap, you don't understand economics.
How many businesses have been bankrupt?
Pretty much all of them.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like all of them. What
we've learned from his resume is that he gets a business that's somewhat functioning, and then he runs it into the ground. Yep. And I think about that because he took over the business after Obama. The business is America, and he ran it straight into the ground. Just and like people are forgetting, literally, we were on a upward mobility with our GDP deficit. Everything was looking positive.
Yep.
That's how the country was handed over to Trump.
Obama had us pointing in the right direction.
8 years, he cleared the way for Hillary Clinton at the time to take it to a whole new depth, a whole new level. Trump won, crashed that bad boy, and then you know what you could say? Well, it was because of the pandemic. Yes, but who was in charge? He was in charge, and the way that he led us directly into the ground.
Yep.
And so now the fact that Biden took over from the ground and built it back up, and then you want to complain about what it took to get us back on. I want everybody to think about this. We are doing better than any other country around the world, more than just America, after a global pandemic.
Yep.
Think about that. So yes, things are expensive. Yes, things are happening right now. But you got to keep in mind, we are literally against the entire world, not saying we're fighting, but in general. Our GDP is better than anybody right now.
Yeah.
So if you want to compare to us to 4 years ago, whatever the case is, go for it. 4 years ago was 2020. Where were we?
Had no toilet paper on the shelves. The supply chain was falling apart. He added $8 trillion in 4 years to our national debt, which was more than the whole national debt in the previous probably 4 decades.
And you couldn't get a haircut.
Thank God. I got so tired of it, I just went bald.
I was the only person looking clean. I look like $1 million. I'm telling you, through the pandemic, I don't look fugly.
Oh,
you ain't gonna
man.
catch me. You ain't gonna catch me out there in any 2020 photos looking crazy.
Somebody's like, "You're always wearing a hat because you're bald." I go, "Yeah, they made hats for people like me. Like that's literally why they made them."
Oh man, lean into it. Michael Jordan was bald. Come on now.
Yeah, Michael Jordan could also play basketball.
Okay, you can talk. We all got our position, baby.
Yeah, but Michael Jordan is beloved by everyone. Most people.
No, he's not. No, he is not. Oh. He is feared, and people do not.
Feared. Feared, beloved, you know.
All I'm saying is Michael Jordan can't do a Ryan rant, so know your superpower.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Any day.
I'll take that. So speaking of my superpower, I seem to have upset another person on the internet, but this one happens to be running for Senate. He's trying to go for Amy Klobuchar's seat, and his name is Royce White, and he is a very interesting individual.
Oh, it's the one that looks like me if I went to prison.
Yep.
Why are you fighting with me, man? You didn't even think about it, did you?
As soon as you said it, I looked and I was like... I feel like I owe you an apology.
Ryan, are you taking out some frustration that you want to say to me, my man?
I'm sorry.
Well, there you have it, folks.
Oh, my God.
This will be the last episode of Hold the Mic with you, Sherman.
This is it.
We have peaked.
This is a series finale.
I love how quiet you got, and because you brought up this picture of him, like it just minimized both of us. I couldn't even see your face reaction. It's so
my
good.
God! Oh my God! Yeah, that was
Happy
good.
Friday, everybody! Happy Friday.
This is going to be our Feelings Friday and our Stop Making Stupid People Famous.
There we go.
The reason why, this guy is a former basketball player, first round draft pick, and also an MMA fighter. Who is, I think he's like 0-3 or 0-1, something like that.
Okay.
So he's running for Amy Klobuchar's seat in Minnesota, and he challenged me to a fight this week. So Yeah.
Team
So,
light skin is not looking good right now.
oh God, no, we don't hold you accountable for this. Don't worry.
Damn.
Um, the
He's my ghost account. I have something to tell you live on air. I've been
oh,
trolling you
I'd
as
fly out and slap the shit out of you if that was true. Oh my God, I've been going at this
just
guy all week.
just trying to keep things fun between us. That's all. You know, a
So
little spice in our relationship.
Stop it. So he got Carrie Lake's endorsement. So that's what caught my attention as an Arizonan. I was like, oh, great. So Carrie Lake supported him. And I said, two stupid fucks with no brain. That's a quote. So that doesn't count.
So good.
Perfect booking. To which White appeared to lose his temper. He said, you're a cuck. Anytime you want to set up a one-on-one fight, let me know. Don't talk shit behind the computer. Oh, let me guess, that's not very statesmanlike. Smashmouth politics. In person, you'd be very respectful. We both know that, little Ryan. You're progressive friends, too. So, this guy is still going today, by the way. Like, he's still going. And
He's still writing to you.
And I just keep asking the same question, which is, why do you support, Donald Trump? And I list out everything.
Yeah.
And he just, I don't know how he's running for office, and I don't understand how the GOP is looking at this guy and going, yeah, he's perfect. Let's run him.
Well, I just find it interesting that when we always talk about women in power and how they can't be trusted, it's like, look at the temperament of this individual.
Exactly.
Look at the temperament, just in general, just reacting to you. He should be able to come into a room with your question, say, well, you know what, Ryan, here's what I think. Here's why I want to vote for Trump. Because again, it's just opinions.
Yeah.
It's just opinions.
Yeah.
One vote is not really one count. We all know how the Electoral College works, but still.
Yeah.
It's just opinions. But Carrie Lake, I mean, that's the segment of no cure for stupid.
So
this man is really writing to you.
He posted this, called me beta, and then a cuck, and screenshotted my photo. And I said, cool story, Royce. You still haven't answered my question. Why do you support a liable sexual abuser, accused pedophile, business fraud, convicted felon, and a 5-time draft dodger who wants to fuck his own daughter? And his reply was, you're under the assumption I'm obligated to answer your dumb question. I get it. You liberal Nazis really believe that. Your first question there disqualifies the rest. E. Jean Carroll is a moron and an operative. I don't believe her. You cucktards are all weenies. Answered. And I said, you're running for public office. Answering constituents' questions is literally your job. And he said that your baseline logic is so flawed it's impossible to talk to you. Ever worse, it's not bad logic, it's bad faith, which does not make you a little cucktard. In my neighborhood, people like you just get smacked.
Please tell me, is this really him or is this like an intern?
No, this is him.
This is really him.
He talks like this when he goes on shows and shit. Oh, this
is him.
This is him. This is definitely him.
He is making me look really bad in these streets.
And he talks about these streets. He literally talks about these streets.
Oh my God! But didn't we talk about this? How they're not funny?
No, they're not. They're not funny. And but the thing about him is, I would almost feel sorry for him because, like me, he deals with mental health issues. And normally I would not use that, but
But the Republicans are.
Well, here's the issue. You're running for public office.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're kind of giving me a bad name because you can't control your temper online. Like, I say a lot of shit, but I know what I'm doing. Like, I'm doing it on purpose to get people to react. But when you get me on a show, or something like this, I'm not going to sit there.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, but I'm not going to sit there, and call you. That's not going to be my entire platform.
Right.
Like, this dude, when you ask him questions that are relevant, he doesn't want to answer them.
Right. He calls you a cucktard and then just says that you're small, feeble brain.
It's like, okay, cool. Yeah, you made fun of me. Great. Now, let's get back to the question at hand, which is, why do you support this guy? And why do you expect anybody to vote for you? Because you can't answer any questions, and all you do, like, he literally said, this is how new senators need to talk. No, it's not. Like, it's really not. There's a place for that. Like, I don't have a problem going at people online and stuff like that, but if you're going to put yourself out there to run for office, you better clean it up.
This is the part where
You're running a freaking campaign. You're no longer an MMA fighter. You're no
right,
longer just a basketball player. You're trying to run for, and you're not even trying to run for like city council or even Congress. You're going for Senate.
right.
Like, for God's sake, yes, you
You want to
need
be
to
in
have some
DC.
decorum. You need to
Yeah,
have some professionalism. And if somebody's asking you a direct question, whether you think it's good or not, it's a legitimate question. You're supporting a man that has done all of those things.
right.
So tell me why you support him and why we should vote for you. And if you can't do that and your response to that is I'm going to kick your ass, well then I think you probably didn't make it past the 8th grade and you don't belong in DC.
No. He probably has
So,
a one-track mind. He just wants to take Lauren Boebert to Broadway or something. You know, the thing that I really think about with this is like the level of how to reach over the aisle and be able to communicate regardless. Some of the best politicians, you got to give a credit to Lindsey Graham. He does, you know, Lady Graham. She can get across the aisle and make deals. I'm sorry, Mitch McConnell when he needs to, as in being Republicans.
mm,
They work with, mind you, on messaging they say one thing, but then they will work with whoever when the time comes. And I say that to you because listen to how they talk about Joe Biden. Listen to how they talk about Joe as a decent man.
yeah,
Granted, they're all sitting in bed with Trump, but listen how they
that's what I
actually
don't.
discuss. As you're saying, this person has this foul mouth who just wants to fight you. Where it's like, no, but look at the big boys at DC, where they're talking about their friend Joe, and they're talking about whatever, regardless if they're stabbing each other in the back. We all know that's the game plan. But it's the
But
way they do the dance
I
is
think
what I'm
that's
saying.
what is going to make me not successful in politics is
We all know
because
that. You're gonna
because
tell everybody the truth about themselves.
well, yeah.
But
But more importantly, like I don't you can say whatever you want to my face.
right,
I want to see what you're going to do. And Mitch McConnell has tanked so much legislation over the years
yes.
that I personally can't shrug my shoulders and say, "Oh, well, he's willing to work." No, he's not.
No,
And
what I'm saying
I've
is he's
watched
a
him.
master of his craft, is what I'm
Oh,
saying.
I'll give, yeah, that's
He has
true.
mastered his craft in the way that he talks. I'm not giving him his flowers in the way of like crossing the aisle. No, no, no. I'm saying the way that they address, the way that they do the dance.
Oh yeah,
That
they're
is where
great at
that's a
that.
master class. That is a master class. This gentleman you're talking about, I mean, look at me calling him this gentleman, where reality is he's a
No, he's a
POS.
clown.
You know what I'm saying?
He's a
Right.
donut.
But at the same time, it's one of those things where if he's really trying to get in the big leagues, like you're talking about, go to DC, you have to take a master class with like Mitch McConnell on how to do the dance, because
Yeah.
that's really following the tide. Where whatever you're talking about, this is the new Republican. It's like that's not going to work really well.
No.
You got how many Republicans voting against Marjorie?
Like it barely works for Trump, let's be honest.
It only works for him.
And it barely does. So
Well,
that
let's see after this election if it barely.
but Amy,
Because
like you think that's going to beat Amy Klobuchar?
no, independents and everybody are like, we're gonna stick with that.
Now, granted, I think her district is fairly blue, so I don't think he had a great shot to begin with.
Right.
So, but it's like this is your sacrificial lamb.
But this
'Cause-
is this is where they're trying to do shock value, right?
Yeah. No,
This
I
is
think
it.
you're right about that.
This is it, and he's trying to create as much noise and kick up as much dirt as possible, and create this storm.
It's not
Much like
going well.
Herschel
It's
Walker.
not going well for him though.
No,
It's really
it's
not.
not. It's not because again, he's not funny with it. How many
No.
people caught my joke about Lauren Boebert? You know
I
what I'm
did.
saying? I know I said how many people. I didn't say
Oh.
you. I know you did. I saw your reaction. But I'm saying how witty are people really when it comes to this, like these jabs?
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yep. So, moving on, and we should have talked about this, I think, when we were talking about immigration, but let's circle back. So, one of the things that the GOP is pushing is that crime is so high in the country because of all the illegal immigrants coming in, which statistically speaking isn't true. But that, I just want to drive my point home anyway today, which is this guy was arrested for trying to lure. I'm sorry. Do I have his name here? His name is Newberry Education Board member
Mm.
Joel Searby, who's 43 years old. got caught texting a 15-year-old boy and trying to get him to come over to his house for some sexual actions. And the 15-year-old ended up, I think, telling the parent, and they ended up doing a sting. And he was saying, he actually gave him an excuse, saying, just tell your parents you're coming over to my house to do, cut my grass or something like that.
Oh, Jesus.
Like they read in detail what this dude did. So I did a little more diving. Now, of course, he is a Republican. But if I wanted to see what else was he about. Not to my surprise, the first thing on his About Me page is, I am a disciple of Jesus.
Oh.
And he was also a pastor at Greenhouse Church. So, I don't know if you noticed, guys, but that's a white dude.
That's a trend.
That's an American.
I'm seeing a trend.
That's a Christian.
How many chorus boys may have been victim to this?
Yeah, how many other 15-year-old boys didn't say anything?
Yeah.
He'd clearly done it before.
Because if you're that comfortable trying to give somebody a game plan, like, come on,
you've clearly done this before.
That's so disgusting.
So, I hate seeing this. They'll completely ignore the mass shooting today. They'll completely ignore this dude getting arrested. There was another Republican that got caught chasing a stripper down the street with a gun. Like, that was this week.
Can that please be someone's campaign message? I'm just saying, just please cut that footage and just say, this man will run for her. What do you think he'll do for you? Okay, just saying.
I was wondering where you were going with that. Oh shit! Oh, that's funny.
I'm in a mood today.
Was it in Michigan too? It was a Michigan.
No, don't you take shots at us. Was it in Michigan?
I think it was. If now that you said that.
We try to kidnap our governor, and we will chase this hooker. Let's go. We'll do this
for you.
Well,
hell, the mayor of Detroit killed a stripper, so.
Oh, he did more than that. He dismembered. Okay.
Yeah.
If you're gonna say it, you gotta say it right.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother place.
And guess who pardoned him?
Oh my God. Isn't that wild?
Guess who?
Resides in Texas now. Thanks, Trump.
And guess what he's doing?
Thanks, Trump.
Remember what he's doing now?
Is he trying to get back in pot? No, what is he doing?
Well, he's a pastor.
Oh!
And I think he is now trying to get back into politics.
Stop it.
He's carrying his pardon all the way to the election office.
Stop it. Stop it. Trump gave me this.
Let the grift go on.
Oh, my God.
I wonder what he had to give Trump for that. I really want to know what he had to give Trump for that.
I don't know, man. I want to think about it.
So with that, let's move on to the next not illegal immigrant. There was a landlord in Florida who set a family of 4 on fire. And when the cops showed up, the bodies were still smoldering in the backyard.
That's so messed up, man.
It's beyond messed up. It's insane.
It's so messed up. And it's Florida. There's no. He's gonna get off. It's Florida.
People in the comments were actually saying that. They're like, yeah, he'll probably do like 30 days.
Like, and it's gonna be for like improper, garbage removal, whatever.
Yeah, it'll be something stupid.
It's just so stupid.
It's like, they caught me speeding doing 105 over, but they gave me an impeding traffic. It's like it's kind of like that. Florida. I know. I don't even like joking about this. I'm laughing about.
But you got to laugh at the pain. You got to laugh at the pain at sometimes.
The pain and the hypocrisy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you guys, they pick and choose, what they want to highlight to lift up their political agenda.
Yeah.
But while ignoring stuff like this, it's like you guys want to say that illegal immigrants are making our country unsafe.
Your brother,
it's not
your brother
them.
cracks me up. He was like, he stood his ground.
Wait, what?
Your brother posted in the comments, he stood his ground.
Who?
Your brother.
I'm missing it. No, I know that.
Oh, for this guy, this landlord.
Oh, Jesus. I think he lost the stand your ground argument when he started barbecuing them, but I could be wrong.
Oh, that's terrible.
I
That's
mean,
terrible.
you know,
I hope they put him under. I hope they literally they put him
this
under the
dude,
jail.
this dude deserves to be in jail forever.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like I said, it's bad enough to take somebody's life, but to burn them and dismember them or whatever,
yeah.
like that's just a whole nother level of, and killing kids.
Just
Like, I saw a video. Somebody put a video on Instagram of a dude killing hounds, and I was like, do we really need this crap on social media? Like,
no,
like
no.
that
Wasn't
gives me a
there was
visceral reaction. And what the fuck is the point?
well, just hurting animals in general. What does that
Yeah,
do for you?
why
I
do you
mean,
have to post that on social media? Like, we know all you have to say is the dude got caught, shooting dogs. I don't need the freaking visual.
but it's the same thing with Chrissy Nome. Why you put it in a book? You didn't need to tell
Yeah,
anybody.
you
You
didn't.
just
You could have gotten away with that. You didn't. Nobody would have
stop
ever
telling
known.
on yourself.
Take it
That's
from
reality.
somebody who tells on himself all the time.
Every husband in every relationship. Yes,
Everyone.
yes.
But yeah, it's just the amount of crazy. Maybe it's just the amount of crazy that's getting reported or that is coming across my screen. I don't know, but it
Yeah.
just seems like the
Elevated.
the amount of crazy is elevated lately,
Yeah.
and it's scary. It's scary. Like I said, the amount of threats we've been getting has quadrupled here, and like I said, it's the first time I've ever felt like I don't have enough firepower,
Right.
and that's coming from somebody that is out here pushing for gun control, on a daily basis.
Well, I think
The
you know what when you talk about gun control, though, I know we're just circling back on it, but it's like
Yeah,
you're talking about just like educating yourself. You're talking about just better ownership. You know what I mean? You're having an actual good faith argument about it. You're not like take all the guns away.
no,
You're not.
I don't
You're
think we're
not.
ever. I don't. The
You and I
weight
both
is.
are like, no, we do believe in guns. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I like shooting guns. I go to Louisiana and I shoot guns. Like that's the thing, right?
Well, and just protecting your family. For me, that's all it is. I mean, I enjoy going to the range and stuff, but it's not like something that I'm like, oh, I gotta go.
No,
Especially when you buy the bullets and you're
it's
you're like,
expensive. All right,
Jesus, these are
it's really
expensive.
expensive. We
Um,
shoot only the cheap ones
yeah,
today.
give me
Who has
whatever the
blanks?
cheapest stuff is.
Who has blanks?
It's like it only has half the gunpowder. Yeah, those are fine. Give them here.
Yes, that's fine.
Um, but
They don't
no,
look like
it's just not like it's not something that I have to do, but knowing that I have them and that I
right.
can protect, my family if somebody comes to the house.
Absolutely.
For me, that's all it is. It's just a comfort of okay, and literally just knowing that there's enough for Jen and I both. Okay, we both have enough
Y'all gonna
to.
look like Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I'm gonna tell you right now.
I mean, we would, but it's just knowing that we have that, and
Yeah.
but now getting to a point where that isn't enough to keep me comfortable anymore. That's the part that's like, wow, I can't believe we're here. So
That only tells me, Ryan, as me checking in on you, that there's a heightened level of stress on your shoulders and your wife's shoulders. You know.
yeah, I'd be lying if I said there weren't.
Yeah. And
No,
and I have to say for this space and for all the people who are paying attention to us and that they would chime in, I really appreciate how honest you are on this show. You are very sincere, and that's a gift that you bring to the world that you can actually communicate how you're feeling and also addressing some concerns that come from that, right?
yeah,
Because you're even like this isn't healthy for me, but at the same time, I do feel like this is necessary,
exactly.
and that is I'm really thankful that you can just open up and talk about something like that.
I'm glad you put it that way though too. Like I've kind of grasped that, but I don't know if other people do. Like
Yeah.
some of us that do this for you guys, it is taxing on us, and it does come with sometimes added risk and even danger, and that weighs on us.
Yeah.
I think we talked about a couple shows ago. For me, uh, one of the hardest things for me to put in its place is that my kids are inherently in danger
Yeah.
because of what I have chosen to do, as a career. And that's a tough pill to swallow because their lives get altered
Right.
because of
They didn't ask for it, and
they didn't ask for any of it.
Right.
You know, another thing, you know, and I'm only going to say it just because we've talked about it on the show before. You know, I had to reach out to my ex-wife, and some people had found her information, and you know, I haven't spoken with her in probably 8-9 years, so I honestly don't even know how to get a hold of her. But I sent her a message just trying, and all it was just kind of like warning her and saying, hey, you know, some people may come looking for you. I'm sorry. Um, Tell them whatever you want, you know, about our history. You know, I don't give a shit. It's your story to tell. But, you know, I just wanted to let you know so you weren't totally blindsided, and also let you know that they've been threatening my family. So, you know, I just wanted to let you know. And that's all it was. You know, it really felt weird just even reaching out to her. But
you are definitely a better man than me, because I'd be using her address for everything.
You know, man, I have to say, you know, when it's your fault, which it was my fault, you know, it's just kind of like I don't hold anything negative towards her, and you know, it'd be hard to, you know, if anything, I just feel like the best thing for me to do was a long time ago was to just step away and stop.
Okay.
You know, because don't get me wrong, dude.
But I don't think you can take all the blame, man. It takes two to tango.
No, it does. It does. But
you know, some people,
you know,
it's the right time to help work with you on what was going on. Also,
yeah.
No,
but also just from like a friend standpoint, you know, when you like, we were in each other's lives for like 5 years, 5-6 years. So, you know, to go, like, she was with me when my dad died. Like, she went through some things with me.
Yeah.
So to like, when you lose that relationship, you lose all that stuff too. Right. Like you know, I can't call her up and be like, hey, do you remember, you know, that time? You know, like it's we don't have that relationship.
Right.
And so it's just really, it's hard for me to put in a place that she might be getting harassed because of, again, what I've chosen to do with my career now.
Right.
And she doesn't deserve it. You know, like she doesn't deserve to be getting harassed because of me. I've done enough to her and her family to last a lifetime. So, you know, if you're out there, man, just keep it to me. You know, keep it between us. That's all I ask.
Yeah, we're gonna try to find a way to funnel that to the show.
Yeah.
Maybe we can make it some fun ways to deal with that. But like
that
I said,
would be fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of fun, Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar had some freaking fun. Dude.
This one. I don't know how some people are coming back from this.
Well, I'll tell you somebody who isn't coming back from this, and that's Drake.
Some people are not coming back from this.
How many times did they play? How many times did he do it?
He played this song back to back 5 times.
5 times.
5 times in a row. Played it.
A row.
Dre
and
introduced all
dude,
the very first one.
When he had Dre come out and introduce it, I was like, oh boy. When he was like, I see dead people, I was like, oh shit.
Dead people. That everybody on their feet.
It was
for him to do it 5 times, but to see how he brought the Crips, the Bloods, everybody together, put everybody on stage at the very final. He even had the clowns, the ones that do all the juking and do all this specific type of dancing styles.
Yeah.
You know, he brought every, like, when you look at the magnitude of what that show was and what Ken and Friends did.
Yep.
He united an entire front.
He did something nobody else
they have
has
not
done.
seen in a long time.
Yep.
And I actually feel for Drake. Be careful going out to LA. Be careful going out to California. Because you did some wrong things, and they have not. When you have radio show hosts, when you have, of course, a number of rappers, basketball player, all the people that are part of the culture show up and stand behind and next to
and watch you do that 5 times. And then
the same energy
every
for each
time.
one.
every
Yo,
time.
man, he let everybody know that he stands alone. He is on the mountain by
Yeah,
himself.
if you thought Kendrick Lamar had fallen off for some reason, I think those conversations are
No,
over.
he just added so much
But
more
what
weight.
I love is and Kalen I think had the best one of the best reactions I saw, and it was there's one thing I know for sure in life, and that is don't fuck with the rapper who has a Pulitzer
Oh
Prize.
my God, yeah.
Like the dude has a Pulitzer
Yeah.
Prize. Him and Obama. That's it. Like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like
That's a whole nother level.
don't mess with them. They're on a different level,
Dra-
and yeah.
you know, Drake is not part of the culture. I'm gonna tell you right now, and he overstayed his
No.
welcome, and I think his passport just got stamped.
Well, I think Lil Wayne was his ticket. I think
It was.
I think Lil Wayne, you know, he kind of got street cred from Lil. I mean, it's just like he said in the diss song. You know, he got street cred from other people.
Any black artist that he could jump on.
Yeah.
Any black artist.
And don't get me wrong, dude. Like Drake, you know, I like. There's plenty of Drake songs I like. You know, he's got good beats and stuff like that. You know, but in terms of rap, has he put out any bangers?
I mean,
Like,
he look. I've watched his entire career, and I have to say to you, Eminem warned him. I don't know if you know
yeah,
that.
yes.
In that one rap,
Tell him.
Eminem
Tell him.
Eminem warned him. He said they gonna come for you. Just wait. You know, they turned on me a long time ago. They gonna turn on you at some point. And Drake thought he was untouchable, and Eminem warned him. He said, but Eminem also knows because he's tied with Kendrick. He's like, yeah, get him. You know what I mean? Do what you got to do. And the thing that I find interesting about it is that you know, the beat production is one thing, but the way that Drake would handle his business, it's coming to light. How he would literally pimp out new artists, and like he would reach out to them, trying to keep his ears to the streets to find the newest thing that's up and coming,
and then use it.
Rap on their stuff, tell them, as big Drake is, you know, I'm the big boss. You know, you could have this verse and join my label and join me as a songwriter. And you'll get the verse for free, or you got to pay me top dollar for this verse. And they're like, wait a minute, like you jumped on my shit. Why do I got to pay you? So he would catch these people in a loop, and it's like some of those people, where are they at now? You know, and one of the people he tried to wrangle in was The Weeknd. And Weeknd was like, I ain't fucking with you like that. Sorry, I cursed, guys. Sorry, I had to drop one.
We dropped a
but
couple.
that was actually no, because this was a quote. That what you wrote was all quotes for the most part, and The Weeknd was literally him saying, I'm not fucking with you. So it's one of those things, man.
Well, like I think you tell a lot by, you know, the company somebody keeps. And if you look at the people that are around Kendrick versus the people that are around Drake, there's no question. Kendrick is surrounded by legends.
Yeah.
Legends.
Yeah. I mean, well, Lil Wayne's a legend, but I do wonder how Lil Wayne is with
one.
Yeah.
We're talking about who's standing around Kendrick right now. Eminem, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, Ice Cube.
I mean, the whole West Coast.
And I haven't even started on the freaking people that were on that stage yet.
You didn't even say Snoop. The whole West Coast.
Snoop.
The whole West Coast.
That's what I'm saying. He has legends standing with him. Drake has a legend standing with him.
Maybe he has Diddy also. I don't know.
Diddy ain't a legend no more.
You heard what I said.
Yeah, I heard what you said.
BBL Drizzy.
Look, when there's that much smoke around, there's usually a fire somewhere. I'm just saying.
And I bet you he was at a Diddy party, is all I'm saying. So
I love Bunny. She's like, the only bangers he had were collabs.
Oh my God. Yes. Thank you, Bunny.
Again, you know, but it goes back to, you know, we love discussing, you know, rap and hip hop and stuff like that. It goes back to when I think of rap and hip hop and I think of current rappers.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's plenty of to mention out there, you know, like I love J. Cole and plenty of other people. But
he missed a nuclear bomb though. Let's be serious. J. Cole did the right thing to back out.
He missed that bitch on purpose.
He was told. He was warned.
Whatever it was, he got out of the way.
He was warned to step back. Schoolboy Q
and he
warned him. And he listened, and he removed, and then he apologized. He said, I'm going to be out of this. And let me tell you, it takes a big man to do what he did, because a lot of people were like, I don't like that he did that. And then looking back, they're like, you know what?
That's the kind of shit Snoop did.
That was a good move.
That was the kind of shit Snoop did back in the day.
It was a
That,
smart move.
you
Stay out of
think
it.
back to, you talk to Snoop. What's one of the last things, last things they said to each other was at the plane after he had done an interview and said that he was messing with, people out on the East Coast,
Mm.
people that, Pac was beefing with.
Mm.
So they were having issues, that last night, that last day. But the love was still there. It didn't. I don't think it messed with how Snoop felt about him or anything. It just was one of those things. But Snoop's always been that way. He's been like the person that brings everybody together, and he's more
He is.
interested in collaborating with everybody versus I don't like you, da 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 da. He's
Well,
just
yeah.
like, hey, let's make money. Like,
Snoop is literally the Willie Nelson of hip hop.
yes, it's a perfect way to put it.
That's everybody loves Snoop.
Yep.
Everybody.
Yeah, but
So,
and how masterful has it been for him to go from sitting in a courtroom being accused of murder to being Martha Stewart's right hand, and you know
Well,
what I'm saying?
it's just two convicts hanging out.
But I mean, yeah, that's
but
but
that's the genius. That's the
it
genius
is.
of that brand.
Yeah,
That's
that
the
is.
genius
They
of
created
that.
an amazing brand.
It's
They
like,
worked
how do
so
we
well together.
remove the stereotype of a convict, and how do we also remove the stereotype of what a criminal looks like? Because
Yep.
those two coming together, and the fact that she is right there with him all day, it is ebony and ivory. It is a beautiful thing.
She jumped on his coattails and knew exactly what was happening. Like, you'll never hear me
Martha
say
got
Martha
hers.
Stewart. Yeah, she's a smart woman.
Martha got hers. I'm telling you
Not
right
smart
now.
enough to stay out of prison, but smart woman.
No, they made an example out of her. They made
I
an
know they
example.
did. I know they
There's
did. She
there's
ain't
people
the only one
doing
that does
far
that
worse
shit.
than she should not have. Please, she did nothing really. I mean, look, inside trading. Okay, got it. That should have been a quick slap on the wrist, whatever.
Yeah, like I said, that's something that
Yeah.
so many other people do.
Yes, that's me
Um,
looking at the justice system hating women. That's all that is.
Yeah. So somebody wanted me to talk about it. I don't know if I want to talk about it. Uh, should I bring it up? Fuck it.
Throw it up.
I'll
Throw it
bring
up. I
Um,
see Carson's coming out, baby. Oh, we doing hold the mic after dark. Here we
yeah,
are.
we're the last 15 minutes. We lose it. So Judge Judy
Oh.
came out and said something that I didn't particularly like.
I saw a headline, but I didn't really read it. What's the thing?
So let me see here.
The justice system working, or is it the justice system being manipulated?
I would be happier as someone who owns property in Manhattan if the district attorney of New York County would take care of criminals who are making it impossible for citizens to walk in the streets and use the subway, to use his efforts to keep those people off the street, than to spend $5 million or $10 million of taxpayers' money trying Donald Trump on this nonsense. That's my view. But I, as a taxpayer in this country, resent using the system for your own personal self-aggrandizement. Now, if you didn't know...
And that's what you think the DA did in Manhattan?
That's what I think. I mean, if you look, you had to twist yourself into a pretzel to figure out what the crime was.
Is that the justice system working, or is
Okay.
it the justice?
That little smirk at the end tells you everything you need to know about what kind of hogwash that was. Of him snickering.
Well, I mean, his face was, is she really saying this?
Right. Right.
Like, and I think too, some people were saying that she went on and said something negative about Trump, but it's like that clip I just did. That's the clip that MAGA and Trump supporters are going to take,
Right.
and they're going to post all over, and they're going to say Judge Judy supports Trump,
Right.
and she thinks that the 34 felony counts that a jury decided, she thinks that's bullshit.
Right.
Like
And
like you
we
literally just sat there and watched her shit on the justice system,
Right.
and say that the jurors that sat on that trial and said within a pretty short amount of time, might I remind you,
Right.
that Donald Trump was guilty on all 34 counts without question. And she's going to sit there and say that?
When she said, and this is where I lose faith in any argument that she had, is that she's sitting there trying to wonder what case they're trying to, do the dance around to create.
You had to twist yourself in pretzels, and you're a judge?
Really? I mean, I understand that, you have these little fake cases that are damn near Jerry Springer-esque on your show,
Yeah.
and you do, zip it, whatever your,
Yeah,
your,
she's a reality TV personality, just like Trump.
you know what I mean? And so it's like, maybe that's where the connection is. But she's talking about doing that, right? 5 million or whatever here in New York. I feel safe to walk around New York. I don't know what she's talking about. I'm around all the time, period. Just out here in these streets.
And I'm guessing you actually ride the subways.
We do everything. Ride the bus, ride the subway. I'm kayaking in the East River. I do everything. I see New York.
Judge Judy has a car service.
Do you know what I mean?
Just saying.
She has a bodyguard. She has a car service. She has a team around her. She's insulated. So maybe she feels
That's
afraid.
why when I hear these people complain,
Maybe
I'm
she
just
feels
like,
afraid.
I'm like, really? Tell us more.
It's like when people tell me how horrible something is, and I'm like, so you watch Fox News, because that's probably where you're getting all your information from, right? But here's the thing. She's talking about all that money being spent, and I'm not doing whataboutism. Look at what's happening in Florida with Eileen Cannon, where she's literally been asked by 2 other federal judges to step down.
Yep.
And she's declined two separate times. And then they said it'd be best for this case to be in Miami, where they have a scariff. Is it called scariff? Is that the proper term?
I don't know.
For looking at classified documents.
Okay.
So you need to have a skiff, whatever, the room where you're allowed to be in there. Please, in the comments, guys, let us know what the proper term is. But a scariff or skiff room where you can look at documents safely. Well, guess what? Because she's holding on to it, they have to spend millions of dollars to build a specific room for them to have in her district only for this case, instead of her allowing this to be moved. So when you talk about this stuff of waste of money of taxpayers, she's wasting a lot of people's money in Florida.
Yep. I don't know, man.
You know what I mean?
Thank you, Thirsty. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, for me, it was funny, and it was interesting.
Everybody said that she's going to be Supreme Court Justice.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
What's interesting to me is Jen watches even the new show, Justice Judy. And I took it in there and I showed it to her, and she was like, well, I kind of agree with that first part. I'm like, I looked at her for a second and she's like, no, it was bad. But it was like that second of the bias of, no, I like her. Right. It's like you have to let it sink in. Like, did she really just say
she's
that?
She's on my TV every day. I want to really like her. Yeah.
But it's like,
that's why they say don't meet your idols.
Tell me about it.
Speaking
of that, so let's move on to the end of our show, which is the positives for the week. So what was your
positive you first? You want me to go first?
No, you go first.
My positive is it's bittersweet. I got back into therapy. And I'm a huge advocate. It's a mental health month, right? We're talking about all this. Happy Pride, happy mental health. And, I got back into therapy, and it's funny because some of my therapy sessions come off like stand-up comedy. And it's, I'm sorry to say.
I know exactly what you mean, actually.
I literally roast the shit out of whatever I'm talking about. And I just watch my therapist try not to laugh. And I literally look at him because we're Zooming. I don't do it in person. I just Zoom so I can be like on a hammock as I'm like just rowing back and forth. I'm seeing boats and sailboats go by. I see the Statue of Liberty in the distance. Like, it's just a ridiculous setting in my life. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like just talking shit. And I literally realize I'm like, I haven't spoken to this person in months. Because in my mind, it's a bus stop. You get on, you do your thing, you get off, you just go through life. And then, okay, there's something I need to, process, whatever.
Yeah, you don't always need therapy.
No.
Yeah.
But I'm coming up to the anniversary of my father's passing. This was the first Father's Day without him. So this is 1 year now in. And I go, you know what? I think I need to talk. I think I do. Yeah. I need to jump in, and I know that about myself. And the first thing I say to my therapist, I'm like, I know you miss me because I missed you. I cannot wait to hang out with you. And he just looks at me and he just shakes his head and he's like,
I'm charging you for this, right?
Not even about the charging. It's just how serious he is, how serious he's trying to be. And I'm like, I'm going to break you by the end of this session.
Yeah.
And by the end of the session, he was like, Ian, it is really good to see you. I didn't miss you. I was like, boom! It only took 45 minutes and I got it out of you. And he's just laughing. He's just like, okay, all right. So do you think we want to do this every Thursday? I'm like, let's do it every Thursday. I go, because I got a podcast and I'm making music. So I'm very busy. So
yeah.
you're gonna have to take a back seat a little bit, okay?
Yep.
He was like, I did not know you did all that, but I will do that. Thank you,
Yep.
Ian. So the positive was just reconnecting with the therapist and touching base and figuring some things out. But it's all good. I feel good. You know,
Good.
it's coming together, and you know, it's just fun to have those kind of moments.
Yeah, man. And I'm proud of you for getting back in it. You know, self-awareness, you know, is so key when you're dealing with any type of mental health issue.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like you said, you know, I can feel myself. You know, when it's like my cup is full. I've hit my top. There's nothing left. And you know, being able to acknowledge that and say, okay, I might need to go talk to somebody. You know, that's where the it's okay to go ask for help. That's why we say that on repeat, because there's going to come a point where it may be because somebody said something, somebody provoked it, or it may just be because you came to that realization on your own. But you will sit down and you will say, I need help. You'll say that in your head. You won't say it to anybody.
Right.
You will say it to yourself. And that's the moment where we say it's okay to go ask for help. The minute you say that to yourself, that's when you're either going to act or you're not going to act. And that's what we try to be positive about and say it's okay to go ask for help.
Yeah.
You know,
And
when your brain's telling you something's off,
absolutely.
you know, it's okay to go ask for other opinions and say, look, this is what's going on. This is how it feels. What the heck is going on with me?
And you know, the beauty is too is that it's like it's not me running to family, because I'm very close with all my siblings and a lot of family, and it's not me running to them to then put information out there where then they now are, you know, gossiping or whatever the case is. It's like it goes to one place where I know it could be sealed up.
Yep.
And it's one of those things where it's like it's in a file. We'll talk about it. If we need to unpack something, we can unpack it. And I really do see the fact that it could be very unbiased, where it's like, okay, I said all these things that really were upsetting or frustrating me, but now I can still go to the barbecue and not have my shit being circulated through, where now they're looking at the person I was talking about or whatever the case was that really was the focus of that session. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, no, I got it out of my system. I'm glad I did it there, and now I can be here with anybody and it not be just circulating. So it's a great situation. If you have the emotional intelligence to know yourself, to go get just a professional opinion. And it's not them telling you what to think. It's them helping you process what you're trying to think, what you're trying to say. My issue, which I laugh about, is I know how I feel and what I'm saying, and literally I'm addressing it as he's trying to like interject, and I'm like, look, I'll give you a second to speak in a second, therapist. Just give me a second.
I'm telling you the problem.
I'm telling you what it is. I'm telling you how I fixed it. This is past tense, damn it. You know, so it's funny in that way. And then it's like, and then I'm like, you know, I was wrong for this, but I'm gonna tell you why anyways. But it's funny. And then I see them laugh, and I'm like, you know, but that's why I said it. And I know I'm wrong. I know. It doesn't help the situation, but it's how I felt.
and two, man, I don't know for you. I have a feeling it's the same, but laughing about it helps.
Laugh at my pain.
Like I have to freaking laugh at it.
You gotta laugh at my pain.
Because you know, and I've gotten so much better at that too. Where like I got spun up the other day, and Jen just kind of looked at me, and she put her hand on my arm for a second, and I just kind of like, and we just both started chuckling.
Yeah.
There was a time though where I would get spun up and Jen wouldn't chuckle. Like she'd be afraid of what comes next. Like, oh, guys, he's about to go lose his shit. You know, but now it's like we can laugh about it. And now I'm so glad we've gotten to a point where, you know, she's comfortable enough to know that, you know, I've got everything under control and it's good and, you know, whatever. And, you know, but she's always been that like my other side. So like even when I wasn't medicated, she was probably the one of two people that could get me to calm down.
Yeah, she's a great extension of yourself, and that's the thing about the right partner at the right time, where it's really
dude,
working.
I'm telling you,
you
like
know?
she's just. But it goes back to everything. You either choose to educate yourself and learn how to, you know, live with this person, or you choose not to.
Right.
And she, you know, thankfully for me, you know, she chose to, you know, figure out how to live with me and you know, navigate this crazy road that I just have to deal with. But mental health, man, it's so important. It's like Bunny said, the world would be a much different place if we could normalize therapy and make it seen as a positive.
Absolutely. And that's why I want to shine a light on. That's why it's my positive. You know what I mean? It's like, it was, regardless of what the subject matter is, even going through the processing of why I felt I wanted to go there. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, but it really did feel good at the end where I was like, and good night, world. Like, I got everything off my chest.
Yep.
It's not sitting there bottling it all up and then, you know, blowing up on somebody because I don't know how to process my feelings.
Yep.
And it's one of those things where I do see it as a positive.
It is about totally.
You know,
like I said, I'm proud of you. I mean,
and some people need it more than others. It's like,
I hope you ain't looking at me when you say that.
Hell no! I'm gonna take it back to Twitter once we get off this show. I'm gonna start fighting with you again. All right?
Oh man, Crystal said she loves going to her therapist. That's how I felt with my first therapist back in Virginia. Like I actually I looked forward to going because we actually did work. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
like
you're
we
bettering
actually,
yourself.
Yeah,
if you're bettering yourself,
totally.
that's a positive thing.
Yep, and when you're putting it like I said, you leave some therapy sessions like drained.
Yeah.
But that's the way it's supposed to be. Some days at work are tough.
Yeah.
And when you're trying to figure out, you know, your mental health, there are going to be days where it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
And you know, therapy sessions sometimes drag out the worst feelings because you're digging through, you know, digging through your stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You're sorting out the skeletons in your closet, and that can be tough. So that said, I'm proud of you, bro. Go out and get help if you need it, and dial 988 for the suicide and crisis hotline. If you or someone you know is struggling, they will provide you with resources and help you get the help that you need.
That's what's up.
So my positive for the week,
yes,
my positive was actually I got a lot done. You ever get to the point where your to-do list is so long that it's stressing you out? Like, I was there.
Yeah.
And so I just took a day and I sat down and I'm like, I'm going to get through all my phone calls. I'm going to get through all my emails. I'm going to schedule all my appointments. Like, I'm just going to get it done. And so I scheduled, I scheduled my colonoscopy and endoscopy for October. Going back in 3 weeks to get my skin looked at, because when they took this off, I think I talked about it last time.
Yes.
They found out that Lynch syndrome, you know, causes some of these growths that I have. So I'm going to get rechecked for that. Our pool pump needed to be replaced, so I got a quote for that and got them coming out. You know, it's just like everything that needed to get done, I was like, let's just knock it out. So over the span of like the last 3 days, I've just been getting caught up, and it's just been so nice. And the amount of stress that I feel, you know, leaving has been
lifted
nice.
off your shoulders. I love a checklist, man.
It's nice.
Checklist.
But you know, going back to mental health, you know, being bipolar, some days it's everything. You know, you've seen me.
Yeah.
Be honest, I've called you some Fridays and been like, hey man, I'm having a rough day, but we're gonna get through the show.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, you have those days. It's normal.
Yeah.
And yeah, the struggle's real. But just not having that stress anymore, that's definitely going to help. And I just want to remind everybody, go to the doctor if you can.
Yeah.
You know, I know not everybody, you know, has great insurance, but if you're able, go to the doctor, get your checkups, and if you have something going on that you just know isn't right, you know, whether it, you know, be something like, for my dad it was bowel movements. You know, he had a softball-sized tumor, so whatever it is. Go get checked out.
Get your shot checked out, man. Learn
you
your stats.
never freaking know.
I turned 40. I turned 40 this year, and I went to the doctors, and they were like, "Why are you here?" I go, "I want to know where I stand." And they thought that was weird. Yeah. And I was like, "I think it's weird that you think that's weird."
Yep.
Like, I want to know what is working and what's not working as I go into this next chapter of my life.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, so I want to know, what am I looking? And then after I said that to them, they go, "You know what? That's actually really nice to hear, that this is how you." I'm talking about my hearing. I'm talking about my visual. I'm talking about just physical, all top to bottom. It's like, where do I stand right now? I want to know.
It's good to have those benchmarks.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
You know, for me, kind of the same thing. They didn't think it was weird, but he wanted me to give him. He wanted me to specify why. I said, "Hey, I want you to check my heart."
Yeah.
And the main reason was because I think I have heart disease in my family, but I'm not really sure. And since I'm not sure, and I don't really have anybody I can ask, you know, it's like, okay, well, let me, you know. So when I explained all of that to my doctor, he was like, "Oh, yeah, cool." And he wrote up, he's like, "Well, you know, this is what we're going to do. We're going to they're going to do a scan and they'll be able to tell how much, if you have any buildup, in any of your heart, and then everything came back 0.
Great.
So that was really nice. And again, it just kind of alleviates any, like you said, oh shit, I'm turning 40, I had a pain in my chest the other day, like what the heck was that? Like just all those little things. And it's like once you go get checked out, it's like, you're doing everything you can to make sure that you catch anything that might need to get caught.
Right.
Right. People find aneurysms, they find, blocked arteries, they
Wild,
find
right?
things that they have no idea about.
Yes.
And if they didn't go get checked out, they never
Like they
would have.
stub their toe and they're like, oh shit.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, you have an aneurysm. What?
I just came in here for a stubbed toe.
Yeah,
It's
for
wild.
real. So,
It happens.
yeah, go get your checkups. But my last positive, I don't know if I mentioned this. So Father's Day, this was, can you see it?
There it is.
Yeah.
Oh, get out. It's your hand and my 2 hands. Get out of here.
Yep. So
That's
that was
beautiful.
That was one of my gifts.
How dare you say yep?
No, I'm waiting to put it. It's going to be next to. It's going to be next to.
You didn't hear my joke.
No, I didn't.
I
What
said,
was it?
I said your hand and my 2 little hands. Look at that.
Your 2 little hands. Wait.
That's your kids, man. About making a joke saying it's.
Yeah. You trying to say your hands are that small?
I'm saying it's me, baby. Here we are. We doing it, baby. Yeah. No, that looks great. That's adorable. That's really.
Now
adorable.
next time we're gonna have to hold up fists next to each other. See.
I'm not participating.
You're like, I'm good.
Just a
I'm
digital
good.
circle jerk. I'm good. That sounds like a Republican campaign. I don't know. Sounds like the new platform for all Republicans.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, on that note. Jesus.
Yo, Republicans,
Oh,
like, subscribe, hit the notification
Yes.
button so you can hear us roast you some more. Come back for
Yes.
some of this love, baby.
And in all joking aside, do your research on who we're voting for. Seeing these Supreme Court rulings come out, seeing what's going on with Judge Eileen Cannon in Florida, when you go into the voting booth or you're filling out your early voting stuff, make sure you do your research, because when you see those judges on there, the people that you put on that bench now could end up in the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure that we're doing our research on the people we're voting for. And I will say this too: don't vote for somebody just because they're a Democrat judge. Please do your research on these judges, please. So just make sure you get your butt out and vote. That's the most important thing right now, because if you give it back to Donald Trump, they're going to have the 10 Commandments posted everywhere, and you're going to have to be pledging allegiance to Trump pretty soon.
Well,
so.
and then you'll be spending more time with us to laugh about a lot of things, because that's what we're gonna need. We're gonna need more
for
laughter.
real.
So
And,
I definitely want us to know. Don't forget to laugh.
And a final shout out to Kaylin for always being in here. And definitely, if you're on Twitter, you should go check out her page. She brings the receipts to everything, pretty much.
We love Kaylin. Shout out to you.
Yep. And like Ian said, make sure you like, subscribe. Thank you for hanging out with us on another Friday night of Hold the Mic. We love you guys to death. We know we don't have a platform without you, so make sure you come back next Friday. And I'll leave you, as I always do, with much love. Keep